Hi, this is Robert Jones, top producing realtor for Keller Williams Luxury, and your host for the American Dream TV. Welcome to the place that I call home, Lafayette, California. Lafayette is renowned for its family-friendly and increasingly diverse community. It also boasts one of the highest rated school systems in all of California. And we enjoy some of the most beautiful open spaces, parks and trails in all of the Bay Area. Like so many of my home buying and selling clients, mine is a relocation story. And the American dream that took me to Lafayette, California began in the early 1990s, working as a drive-through cashier at a fast food place outside of New Brunswick, New Jersey. I didn't know it at the time, but I was being noticed by a local real estate attorney, Nicholas Mariano, who later convinced his partner Joseph Coyle to hire a 20-year-old kid with no office experience to work with them, starting as a front desk receptionist. I worked with Nick and Joe for almost 20 years at Mariano and Coyle PC and became a real estate paralegal and an executive assistant to the partners. In 2008, an old college sweetheart came back into my life, Samantha. And 6 months later, I followed my heart and moved across the country to be with her here in California. To say I was nervous about starting my real estate career over in California during a Great Recession is an understatement. But I was inspired, determined, and highly motivated. Love and the beauty of this place will do that to a person. When we first got to Lafayette, our first stop was Mighty Fine Guitars. Stevie Coyle is the owner of Mighty Fine Guitars, a purveyor of custom and vintage instruments. He teaches, performs, and broadcasts right from this location. Let's see what he's up to today. This is Stevie Coyle with Mighty Fine Guitars. He and his shop are a neighborhood treasure. Steve, how long have you been at Mighty Fine Guitars and what drew you to Lafayette?
I have been here, it shocks me to say, for 11 years. What drew me here was my niece, who runs the shop next door, called me up one day. She had a little tiny sliver of a shop on the far end of this building and called me up and said, you know what, we're going to take over the health club, which is what this was, and 2 adjacent rooms. We're going to take over the health club, but you get first dibs. You ever thought of opening a shop? And I hadn't. The day before, I had decided to stop touring. I'd toured with a band called the Waybacks for years and years. And along about Ashland on the way back down, I thought, I'm done touring. There was no rancor, there was no upset. It was just, a realization, not a condemnation. The very next day, she called up and said, we got this thing going on. And here I am 11 years later, and with the shop that was carved out of a much bigger room. And instead of a Squeezy Freeze ice cream shop or yoga studio, it's Mighty Fine Guitars.
That's awesome. And I know you're a touring musician, you had bands, and I understand you also worked with Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead.
Well, I did. Well, or he worked with us.
Ah.
We had established ourselves as a pretty hot acoustic band, with the basic conceit of the band being that we'd play any kind of music, but all on acoustic instruments. And so he said, yeah, I'd like to play with those guys. And so we put together several shows at Merle Fest, the Merle Watson Folk Festival back in North Carolina, giant festival back there.
Sure.
He joined us for that, and also for Hardly Strictly Bluegrass over here in San Francisco.
Excellent, yeah. Stevie, thank you so much for your time today, for all you do in our community.
Oh,
it's been great.
Thanks I appreciate the tutelage.
With its beautiful homes, open spaces, and vibrant downtown, Lafayette is so much more than a mere suburb. There's a ton to see and do here in this fun, active, and dog-friendly community, while still being close to cultural centers like San Francisco, Oakland, and Berkeley. This is Robert Jones for American Dream TV. Thank you for joining me here in Lafayette, California. It's the best way to East Bay.